All right. In this moment, I give all glory to God. And I really enjoy it when members of the congregation come and give me ideas for talks they would like to hear. Or even more so, if they ask and say, I'd like to hear the talk you just gave when, because it was so wonderful to me, I want to hear it again. And that's the case today. There was a talk that I gave back in November, or October, I think it was, and somebody came up to me afterwards and said, could you please do that again? So it's taken a few months to cycle around, but here it is. We're ready to go. It's a message of oneness titled The Crown of Wisdom. So I would like you, first of all, to visualize a crown on your head, not the one of thrones like Jesus wore, but one of light, a crown of light, of God, of Spirit, of Source, of the royalty that you are. With a lot of negative energy and chaos going on in the world right now, we may feel as if we're caught up in water, which stands for our emotions. So we're caught up in a lot of that. And caught up with spirit, but feeling like we might drown. So now it's time to wear the crown of oneness, to release any separation we may have from our higher self. And that's what this talk is about. So I ask you, how buoyant are you today? Meaning being able to float in the energy of oneness. The energy of feeling, since our emotions and our feelings are water. It's a great recognition when we can offer to ourselves this divine buoyancy, being able to stay afloat amongst everything that's going on in the world, during all of our opportunities to experience the experiences that we have. And just being with it, not taking, just having presence, not destruction. What a gift indeed to be able to experience that and connect to it. And now it's time for all of you to claim your wisdom container. And that means, beloved beings, that you are all children of ancient wisdom. You're children of modern wisdom. You're children of future wisdom, of all wisdom that there is available to us from Source. Just learning how to be with that every moment of the day, connecting to the wisdom that we have, to the oneness that we experience. And so I ask you, what does it feel like to be filled up with wisdom? What's it feel like to recognize the wisdom of the ages that has been the truth that's been handed down through all the ages to us? What is it to be in the effervescence of the buoyancy of oneness and allness in all ways? Those are some powerful words. Effervescence and buoyancy. It's as if you're in a can and someone's shaking you up and suddenly the top is popped and there's all this effervescence that's coming out. Think about that for yourself. You have effervescence everywhere. And there's no discernment because it's going to be on your face, it's going to be on your clothes, it's going to be next to you, okay? All around you. So, then can you be a bubble of effervescence? Be a claimer of the oneness that's there. Think about all the bubbles together. They're all one, connected. So, with this oneness that's all around you, can you be this bubble of effervescence in your life, no matter what's going on? What experiences you're having? Can you integrate discernment, looking at the experiences and discern them with your joy? Which is something I want in my life? Which is something I don't want in my life? So that leads us back to talking about wisdom. Are you ready for the wisdom that has permeated all energies of all ages to come forward in the expression of your life right now? To claim the truth of who you are and what you know to be true? So, beloved beings, I want to say that you all wear great crowns of life because it's a wisdom container. So I want you to take a moment now as I talk about it and really feel it, imagine it, enjoy it, and this wisdom that you have within you. And see that you can be the oneness of all, to be present with it. Not let you be taken off track by things that are going on in your life or out in the world. Be connected to that oneness and understand that within the content of this oneness, there's a lot of wisdom that's being offered to each and every one of you. You are a divine conduit of presence, love, energy, joy, peace, and abundance. Do you feel that? You know that it's there all the time. It's up for you to claim it and to recognize the oneness through the allness of all that is. So remember, divine ones, you have come forth now by choice in this important time. You chose to be here in the body that you're in at this particular time with the experiences that you're having. You are opening the gateway to the portal of all of life and the deeper recognition of what oneness means. What is it for you? So, I say to you, beloveds, you've now come forward to a time of abundant allness, which is doing its best to express to you everything happening in life without limitation. Because limitation is birth of destiny, density, or form in our physical body. But I ask you, how can one limit limitlessness? Think about that for a moment. Can you do that? That's another part of wisdom that you're gaining. So when you recognize, beloveds, the allness is an expression of divine love. It's an expression of divine light. You will see that this allness has come forward in a manner that's released all forms. That includes the bodies that you're in, your experiences that you have daily, the relationships you have, the relationship to health or anything. This is being released when you look at the allness. Because within the mind of density, there is a comprehension of form. We look at the form, we get identified with our bodies, we get identified with our experiences. And this is what we can see through this body, with eyes that are composed of tissues of density. But then we want to move into knowledge and wisdom, which is spiritual sight. How does God see us? How does God see the experiences that is happening with us? So then you get to claim the wisdom through many, many layers of divine illumination. It's like the light coming in and illuminating up. When we turn on the lights, how does it look? It's happening to each and every one of you. So I ask a question or two. How much more energy would be available to you if you stopped questioning yourself every day about what's going on? How many times in a moment in a day do you question yourself, or do you question others, or the experiences that are going on, seeking to validate one belief or form? When you release even half of those questions, how much more energy do you have in yourself to be connected to the allness and the oneness, to be connected to the energy of love and divine reunion with God inside and connection? How much more available are you then for the wisdom that's there waiting for you? By understanding the oneness, we recognize the allness in all of its expression is a beautiful gift, is it not? To be able to understand the beauty of your gift that you have in this physical body and your experiences. All of you have gifts to give. It's about your presence. It's about your beingness. How powerful that you get to share that with other people. That we get to connect with the allness and the oneness with everyone. What you have to give is a great treasure. It's found, but not buried in an ocean, but it's been buried within your heart. And that's where it needs to come out. Within your heart is the greatest treasure of all. And you give and receive it by claiming your divine empowerment. So we get to empower ourselves through our choices, through our connection to the wisdom that we have. When you expand your heart to open up to receive the love and be connected to the allness of life without any limitation, without any boundaries, without any form, you can say, to heck with these eyes. I want to see the deeper truth from now on. All that comes forward, I want to see through God's eyes and let it be within me. And when it does that, you see the truth and everything comes forward for you. So, beloved ones, remember, this is a great time of seeing the truth of oneness that's before you. It is within you. It is around you. It is as you. It is a part of you. And as you grow with the Christ consciousness, with the I am consciousness that we talk about here, you empower your deeper wisdom. You become the expression of allness with the understanding of this oneness. That's what's happening all the time, whether you're aware of it or not. So to fully embrace the allness is a great chore before you, if you choose to call it a chore. But it can be quite a chore. And what this chore is to release all judgment of yourself. All judgment of yourself. So many times in your wisdom and the expression of allness, your divine expression has come forth and it has said to you, I wish to experience this allness so that I shall experience judgment and hate and anger and guilt and distrust and all the other things that come with the body. Hallelujah. I get to experience all of that. So to seek to contain or block the allness is a judgment that something's wrong. What I'm talking about is to be able to experience all of that stuff that comes up and just know it's part of life, it's a part of us, it's a part of the allness. Let's just feel it and let it go. Because we don't want to contain yourself. You don't want to contain your expression in your world. You don't want to contain your limit or limit the limitlessness. To question your experiences for the sake of questioning is to perpetuate a belief system of density, which will create more density in our life through all our forms, our bodies and everything else. All these expressions that we have are manifest right before you right now and will continue to be, because how can you limit, again, any limitlessness? You can't. Everything is there and we want to just experience it. And in this process, your choice must be clear to either continue with the allness or not. It's up to you. It's not that one ends and another begins. It's that two become apparent in the oneness of all that is expressed. Because that means there's no separation. All there is the oneness. All there is the allness of life and everything that we experience. And it can be quite confusing when we look at it in our body and our mind as a human being, that how can there be two if there's only one? So I say to you, beloved beings, one and one is always still one. It's only in your own world that one and one make two. But in God's world, all there is the one. All the allness. The oneness of all. It's important to recognize that you are here in this time of reunification. It's time to get a deeper awareness of our life. So therefore, stop judging yourself. Don't find fault with judging, first of all, but stop it. Or, on the other side, maybe it's time for you to judge yourself like you've never judged it before. So you get to experience that as well. Each choice that you make, because it is a choice with everything you do in your life, whether you choose to go along with it, to judge yourself, find fault with yourself, or not do it, each choice will manifest itself to the divine oneness. It will bring that energy up more within you. And therefore, your wisdom crown that you've been wearing this morning radiates with such abundant light that it has a crystalline matrix within it that attaches itself. And that's what our bodies are growing into more. So it's time to speak to your heart. This is where it's at, in your heart. With the wisdom crown and the connection, you get to connect to the preciousness of your wisdom, what you have gained through all of your life, all of the experiences. You have the divine wisdom. And then the divine birth is at hand. There's a birth happening within you. And I want you to remember, when you originally said yes, I want to go down into this planet of destiny. I want to go into that physical form and experience the destiny so I can celebrate the oneness. You chose that. And you did that for a good reason. So know that there's a lot coming up for you right now around this oneness, because when you brought this energy forward, you came down here with such celebration of wonderful, great, joyous celebration. Do you remember that at all? We may not have it now, but you had it when you made the choice. And your beloved world is now birthing you in a deeper way. This birth is not a twin. It's not a triplet. It's your birth. It's the birth of the truth of you. You are birthing something new within you, beloved ones. Stay awake to it. Be open to it. And midwife yourself. Hold the space for all others and the birth that's going on for all of them too. Because as you, the midwife, hold the space for your own birth, you help hold it for the birth of this planet and everyone on it. And you're holding the reunification of the oneness that you are. You are not a victim. You are a participant. You are a giver of life. You are the witness. You are the observer. You are the one. You are everything. And you get to stand witness to yourself as you witness for others. So letting go of judgment that I talked about begins with you. If you choose to remain in judgment of those around, or those around you choose to remain in judgment, thank them for helping you recognize where you still hold judgment in yourself. To know that everybody around us is a teacher for us about this subject. In their choices, everyone else in their choices gift you divinely, because in front of you, you must feel the judgment and release it. If you choose to, of course, because again, it's all choice. Each is in their divine, precious wisdom reunification. So this work that you're doing, beloved ones, is a divine gift. It's a joyous gift, if you choose it to be. Or it can be like shackles holding you back, but that's a choice you also have too. Which one do you want? Allow yourselves to decide, and as you do, purify your body more. Start to hold a higher vibration in your body. We want to move from the judgment and the fear that vibrates like this to love, divine love that vibrates like this, if we carried that in our body at all times. Allow yourselves to claim the wisdom. Or you can let your ego take charge if you want. Because the ego really likes density. It wants to keep you in this form. It wants to keep you in the stuff that's going on in your life, the conflicts that you have. But now it's time for you to celebrate and have discernment, because the greatest illusion in your world now is the one that you give to yourself when you're unable to see the truth of who you are. Right now you have a moment to see what I'm talking about, is to see the deeper truth of you, how it has always radiantly and joyously, abundantly, lovingly and divinely supported you in the allness of your life. How could that have ever been wrong? It's only in the judgment of your actions that creates the idea of wrongness. There's nothing wrong about you. You are encouraged to begin with yourselves, because it is useless in this world to delude yourself that you can release the judgment of others when the judgment of yourself still reigns inside. We have to let it go to help all of it. And so this divine celebration that we're going through, this divine oneness that we're connecting to, is able to gaze at each being on the planet. As I've said before, you look at everybody and you see the Christ within them. Now you're going to look at them with heart-centered understanding and gratitude, and you're going to say to them, thank you for serving me so well. Thank you for opening me up. Thank you for being here. And to say that for yourselves too. Even the ones that you would claim in your judgment to have committed horrific crimes. This is a great, great discernment, and it's very important to see the allness and the oneness and let go of judgment. Because it does say that you can recognize every person on this world is doing their part. Everyone's doing the best that they can. All of you are. And you know that everyone's actions will receive the soul energy that they need for their own completion. We're not here to judge who they are or ourselves. But we have to know that our souls of everybody on this planet is leading us to this oneness. And it's not our job to look at other ones and to judge them. To simply recognize that you and everyone else is here by choice. You cannot mess it up, no matter how hard you think you're trying. Everything has always been well. And that's one of the things in this world that's right before you, that everything is okay. So be cautious and careful as you bring about the discernment, meaning you look at things. Pay attention to what calls you to this oneness. Pay attention to what wants to bring you situations that are happening with people or whatever that calls you to the oneness and the allness. You may have questions come forth, as I asked earlier, and questions are a gift. So simply look at the question and ask yourself, is my mind just asking this question just to ask it? Or does my heart really want to be free? Because when you have questions that you ask for the sake of a mind, it just perpetuates the mind even more. But when you go into the heart and say, am I wishing to be free? Such a deeper question to ask. So we want to look at how we have entered into a phase of abundant expression. I like that phrase, abundant expression of all things in our life. Abundance is not limited by just our own perception of that word. It is an energy. As is fear is energy. Chaos is energy. Love is energy. Everything is an energy. All energies are an expression of the allness. And as you move further into the oneness, everything becomes one. And one has always been and always will be. And so it is. So I invite you to take a deep breath right now. Just breathe in and simply feel the peace in your mind and your heart. That everything is okay. That we're connected to the allness. In this one moment, beloved mind, be at peace. And can you imagine in any moment everything without limit? Can you recognize in any moment the allness that's there in divine harmony? Feel the gift of that, beloveds. Feel the bliss of yourselves. Experiencing this life is a great dance. How wonderful it is that I'm dancing with life and with the allness of everything that's going on. And may the harmony of oneness as a divine gift received from the allness empower your crown of wisdom that you're still wearing. Let the light shine bright into the clarity that you share your life with all that is. And know that as you do this, you are loved deeply. And so it is, abundant love. Namaste.